Hi, my name's Tracy and today I'm going to show you how to make a knitted bunting flag. So first of all I'm going to select a colour that catches my eye today, I guess. So I'm going to go with this green. Doesn't really matter whether it's chunky, double knit or 4-ply, whatever ply the wool is, because we're going to use a template to keep measuring as we go along. And again, it doesn't really matter what size needles you use. Today I'm going to use UK number 6, but again, because I'm measuring it as I go along, it doesn't really matter which ones I use. So whatever you've got lying around. So I'm going to start by casting on 2 stitches, and I tend to use the thumb method for casting on, but you may be more familiar with using your own method. You might use 2 needles to cast on, and I'm just going to drop the wool down there and off we go. So for this particular flag I'm going to do garter stitch, which is every row knit. I'm going to start off by knitting 1 and knitting 2. So I've knit my new 2 stitches to start with and got those secure on the needle. And the next row I'm going to do the same again. And now I want to start making that point grow. So what I'm going to do for the next row is I'm going to increase by adding an extra stitch on either side. So I'm going to knit into the stitch at the front, knit into the stitch at the back to make an extra stitch. And the same with the second stitch. So that now I've got 4 stitches. So now we're starting the point of the triangle. So then I'm going to do a couple of rows just knitting without increasing. Keep checking against the template. So I think it's safe to increase with another stitch either end for the next row. So knitting to the front of the stitch, knitting to the back of the stitch and creating an extra stitch. The same with the other end. So you get the idea, and hopefully that should be starting to look like the point of the triangle. So all I'm going to do as I sort of carry on with this is I'm going to keep checking it against the template, which will give me an idea of which row I need to increase in. So just a couple of rows without increasing, and then increasing either end when it looks as if the triangle needs to get slightly bigger. So I'll show you one that I made earlier. So this one, as you can see, fits the triangle. The nice thing about sort of knitting is that it will stretch slightly as well, so that you can sort of make it stretch to the template slightly. When you get to the end, what you need to do then is just to cast off in knit as well, once it gets to the right length. And then when we've got our knitted triangle, at that stage I can decide how I'm going to decorate it. So one of the first things that I might do is get a needle and get rid of these ends by just sort of stitching them in. And then we can decorate in whatever way we want to. So it might be that if you have a look around and see what you've got sort of lying around that you don't need anymore. So for instance, we've got these little sort of plastic daffodils here. So if I can sort of get the head off the daffodil. So we've got the head off the daffodil, and what we can do is we can sort of neatly weave it into the stitches. And then maybe either add a bit of glue or just an extra stitch just to sort of stitch it in, so we can sort of make it a little bit fancier like that. Or we could take different colour wool maybe. And then using a needle with a large eye or a darning needle. You could either sort of stitch something into it, so you might want to stitch the daffodil in, or you might want to make another pattern, or you can make the edges quite fancy perhaps by doing a little bit of sort of blanket stitch around the edges maybe, like this. Just add a bit of colour around it. So you just go all the way around. Or you could, if you're feeling really creative, what you might want to do, you might want to sort of stitch your name into it, or the name of a loved one. So again, just doing a little bit of sort of embroidery into it. So it's entirely up to you really. It's your knitted flag, and you can make it exactly how you want to make it. So do personalise it, do have fun doing it, and we look forward to receiving your finished flags.